You ever hear of the Foobler? You probably haven't, but you will soon. Actually, it's a cool little dog feeding toy. You know, it's like a round little ball, like a little soccer ball, and there's like 6 compartments in it, and there's a timer, and every compartment, it moves. Like you could set it for 15 minutes, 30 minutes, 90 minutes, or whatever, and the food comes out, you know, every 30 minutes. A bell goes off, the dog hears it, and it goes over the ball and has to play with the ball to get the food. So it keeps a dog really fed and happy all day because he's got this ball to play with that will give him food every half hour, or however you want to feed him. And you're out working or doing whatever the heck you can. And these guys that developed it, you know, what they also believe is that, you know, they got like $70,000 or more on the internet to make this product. In other words, they made a prototype, and then now they went on the internet, you know, through crowdfunding, and got all the money to go into production. Because then, you know, they get money from people on the internet, not from fat cats, not from venture capitalists or people telling them what to do, but from the market. This is real people giving them money, you know, and it costs really nothing, you know, to use these websites to get that kind of money. So if you have an idea, you could do that, and this is the new way to get any idea out there. You know, but more importantly, all the development that it took for this little magic kind of ball they had, you know, he believes that you could get actually all that kind of help for free if you have some extra time. Some is some technical stuff that they had to get, and they maybe paid for it, maybe not. If they had more time, they didn't have to. So that's another neat thing about what's available out there. Everything you need to produce that, you know, that prototype or whatever it is that you want to show on the internet, you know, so you could get that money. You could get all that for free too. But more importantly, watch him explain how he did it and how he got all that money. Oh, Fred Schechter, man, I think when you leave the house every day, you must have 1,000,000 dogs following you down the street. You know, just want this new dog feeder toy you got.
Yes,
it's just
the trick is not to keep the kibble in your pants when you're walking around.
But it's wonderful. I mean, a creative idea. So you have one there, put it up there.
Yes, indeed. Let me put the lid right on here. It's that quick. This is the original prototype.
You put the food in there, 6 different compartments, and yeah, that's it, 6 pies. And then there's a timer every 15, 30, or 90 minutes. It goes to a new compartment, and the dog plays with it, and the food falls out, huh?
That's exactly right. It's up on Kickstarter right now.
Right.
So yeah, the timer and all the hardware, you can hear that bell.
Yeah.
Just takes 2 batteries.
Wow.
There's the bell.
So the bell tells the dog it's going to do it again, right?
Exactly. And that is all the electronics in the unit.
Wow. And so the rest is washable?
The top part.
Yeah. Wow. Now, so in other words, I could leave the house all day and my 2 dogs would be fed.
Yeah, that is exactly right. That's what we aim for. We want you to be able to have a dog who's happy, healthy, not overfed, properly fed, and has something to do.
But I mean, that's the important thing. They're doing something instead of just sitting on their butt and eating stuff in their yap, huh?
Exactly. They actually, what we typically see is a dog will both swat at it with their paws, and then they'll hit it with their head or their nose. And it's actually pretty cool, and they can really move it around pretty fast.
Well, I've seen these timers for, you know, you fill up the puppy chow thing, and it it goes on a timer and puts it in a bowl, right?
Exactly. So they're not doing anything different beyond the time delay. So what we have, it'll hold up to 2 cups.
I see.
But for an example, I'll show you a few marbles here.
Nothing up your sleeve.
Nothing up my sleeve. So we'll just drop them in. Easy enough to wiggle around, roll around. And when they do that, let's see if I put it in the right chamber that's open. Of course not.
So you have to have a smart pet owner, not a smart pet.
It's got to be time right. Right though.
I see. Oh, that's amazing. Yeah. So I mean, but actually, this is your idea. You and your buddies. This is your first idea. That's the prototype. You're getting ready to go to market, but people could get on like the pre-market deal, right? Right now on Kickstarter.
With Kickstarter, as you're well aware, it's crowdfunding. So Basically, you're pre-purchasing a product that's going to come out. The final product will be 10 millimeters smaller than this in diameter, and that's our first model with the bell. We have a stretch goal, what they call on Kickstarter, where if we raise $80,000, we will have a new model that will work with a Android or iOS phone.
Wow.
But that's only if we raise 80,000.
Yeah, but I mean, you were going for 40, and now you already have 53, right?
We already blew through 40. Yeah, it was really exciting. We had a lot of great response from our fans, and that's been really great. My teammates, we all used to design together at Sharper Image, so we're a little familiar with design.
Yes.
So yeah, so this is what we've done.
Well, I mean, you've been with the big guys, Sharper Image and stuff like that, and so you've seen products come and go. What made you decide to use a funding source like Kickstarter instead of just going to Fat Cat or somebody, or Veggie? You know all these people.
Well, part of the focus for us has been how do we get something that's ours and do it without a bunch of capital that just, that we get from somebody. And this was the easiest route to go. We have a wonderful partner in the factory that we're using. So they've actually made things a little easier for us. But even still, if we hadn't done that, we've already raised enough money to have done this all on our own.
By yourself.
And that's the real key with Kickstarter. We budget in terms of the target goal as well as the pricing to make sure that when people come and pre-buy a Fugler, that they can actually get us to the point where we can do this on our own.
I see.
And
so by selling you'll probably sell a couple thousand of these just on the internet now. So that's money to go into production.
Almost to 1,000 already. We may be over with some of the double purchases because you can't buy 2 at a time. Our backer count is somewhere north of 900 right now. So 1,000 isn't a crazy idea, and hopefully far many more thousands very soon.
Wow. Well, I mean, that's 1,000 people, for sure want the hell out of this thing.
Exactly.
Not just your mother-in-law.
Yeah, actually the most exciting, though she does want it. The most exciting part is, so a lot of them have been behaviorists, veterinarians, and shelters who want it for their dogs.
I see.
We designed a product for Dr. Sophia Yin. She's a veterinary specialist and a behaviorist in Davis, California. We had actually designed a product for her years ago.
This is the dog whisperer person?
I'm sorry?
That's the dog whisperer lady?
She's not the dog whisperer, but she's very well known, Sophia Yin. And we brought it to show her, and she let her dogs play with it, and they loved it. She really loved the approach we took. We used a lot of the information she'd given us years ago and said, okay, now how would we feed a dog right? And she's really supported us.
So it's a product that's not just it's not a gimmicky product, as it appears maybe to some people, but it's a serious, dog product. I mean, for scientists study the behavior of animals or really appreciate what you've done.
They really do, because, what we're really pushing is that dogs can forage for their food. They can go and get their food. They can interact. They, you put it in a different room every time if you want. They've got something to go do. Even if you leave it in just one room, it's nice that they know they have something they get to interact with to get their food, and it's a little more rewarding for the dog as well.
Although on the crowdfunding thing, what advice would you give somebody who wanted to start? They have their idea now. I mean, there are a bunch of younger people like you. They say, "Hey, I just left my job. We got these great ideas." What were you to tell them to do next?
Well, first, go make some prototypes. Break a bunch of stuff. Like if you haven't done 10 prototypes,
I see. You're not there.
Once you have something that you can show somebody, they understand how it works, that you don't know, or a friend that heard you were doing something and they go, oh, is this how it works? They take it apart and they don't destroy it instantaneously, then you're on the right track. And then more than anything, when you do a crowdfunding campaign, budget. And you need to put all those things that you need for your crowdfunding campaign in your target goal. Everything.
You mean budget? Shipping. You mean like budget? What do you mean? There's money?
Budget for tooling, budget for
I see.
packaging,
How much this is going to cost, you mean? How much you have to raise?
So when you're giving a price point, when you're giving a target goal for your crowdfunding campaign, you can do those things the right way and really perform at a close to professional, if not professional level.
So understand what it's going to cost you is what you mean.
Exactly. We went round and round. I did 3 different versions of our movie that was on Kickstarter before we finally went and got a pro guy to do it. And I'll tell you, and we paid a very reasonable sum to somebody who did an amazing job. And we are so thankful. And that was literally, it was the icing on the cake to make. I'd done some good videos. And just bringing in the extra pro on that, a world difference. If you can't do that, just keep editing your movie. You'll get there. There are cheap ways to get around it, and there are expensive ways to get around it. The money will buy you time and a little bit of professionalism, but you can do it the hard way if you read all the articles that are out there. It's a lot of work. Don't kid yourself. And then the other thing is build your social media campaign. Start a year before. Have a site. Have a Facebook page. Have a Twitter feed. Get a following. Get your clout score north of 50. Hopefully north of 60. And go for it. And that's something that's going to really help you when you get to market. And you push it out to all your fans, and they go, "Oh my gosh, it's finally here!"
That pent-up demand, you create that.
It really is. It really
so
is.
now, to get the Foobler, we could get it through your website, and that will direct us to Kickstarter, right?
Yes. So our website, thefoobler.com, will take you directly to Kickstarter. Also, you can just go to Kickstarter and type in Foobler. That's F-O-O-B as in boy, L-E-R. And you'll go right in there. But
Foodler right there, Ed. But this will be up for a while, so people can always find you at thefoodler.com, right?
Thefoobler.com, yes. For now, we have 10 more days left of the campaign. When this airs, maybe 9 or 8. But please share it, obviously. That helps us as much as buying. The sharing is really important.
Yes. Help the dogs in America, right? Or all over the world.
Really. Obese dogs, this is great because you can really control how much they eat.
Right, exactly. Dogs are getting fat. They have the same problem as people now, I think.
and as well for diabetic dogs, too, because you got to remember, you need to feed them little bits a lot. And now you can do that without sitting there and worrying that they're being fed regularly, and they're getting enough exercise to go get their food as well.
Okay, well, everybody should go to thefoobler.com, right?
Yes, indeed.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very, very much.
My pleasure. Take care. Okay, so if you have a pet, you probably want a Foodler. Actually, that's the other thing about buying these products on the internet when they're introduced. You get a bargain. Well, it's going to be a discount like 20, 30% or even more, than when they hit the shelves. Plus, you're the first one on the block with one of these things and a happy puppy.